Alright, so now I'm going to be demoing the add eyelashes also for OpenCV course to the first project. So this one is just going to add eyelashes to a face, also using Dloop's facial detector. We also had to use some Delaunay triangulation to do this one to get the eyelashes in the correct position. So on the far right, this is using facial landmark detection, and I will check the size of the eyes and the positioning of the eyes and then lay the eyelashes in about the correct position. And if we were to just overlay these two images, we would get this third image here, and you can see that for this third image that the eyelash is off. So that's what happens when you just directly lay them. But we use some Delaunay triangulation, and then we can shift this eyelash to the correct angle of the eye using the facial landmarks and some affine transforms. So doing that, we'll get this image that looks much better than this one. So we'll go back. You can see that the eyelashes actually align very closely with the eyes here. So I'll walk through the code now. So the first part of the code is just constants. So we have all the constants for the landmarks, and these correlate with the dlib facial landmarks. So we need the constants for the eye. That way we know where to position the eyelids and the sizing and all of that. And then for the eyelashes, I also have the eyelash constants that I grabbed from the eyelash. So just basically what the pixel values of the same about where dlib's facial landmark would about find them on these eyelash pictures. And then I just created a copy of this eyelash. I just flipped it and created the mirror image of the right one. That's not in the code, that was just manually done. And then just some more constants for the width of the eyelash and where the center of the eyelashes will be, because these will be helpful later on in positioning the eyelash. And then just the paths, so path of the eyelash and the shape predictor path. And then I have a helper function to create a mask, because as you saw, the eyelash has this checkerboard background and we only care about the eyelash pixels, so we need to get rid of the checkerboard. So this is just creating a mask because the eyelashes also don't have the alpha channel. So creating the mask basically manually creates our alpha channel. It's just forcing all pixels that are less than 100 down to 0, and all pixels greater than 100 to 1. That way we have a clear mask there. And then helper function just to plot the image from matplotlib, and then helper function to get our facial landmark. This will just return the landmarks using the face detector, find the face, using shape predictor, and then just return the landmarks. These functions were helper functions from OpenCV course. So this will just grab the boundary points. And so for example, for the image, we need the boundary pixels here for the Delaunay transform to make sure everything stays consistent. So it'll be 3 at the top, 3 in the bottom, and then 1 on each side. The get eyelash features, this will basically just so this, we have to scale where the eyelash features are. The constants that I have set here will change obviously when we fit the eyelashes to the face. So what this function is doing is, based off of those change where we're going to start, where we're going to place the eyelash, we need those pixels, and we'll shift by those for the left and we'll shift for the right, and then whatever scale, however much we scaled those eyelashes for to fit the image, we'll also use that, and then we'll find out where those features translate to. So we'll multiply by the scale and then shift by where we'll place those eyelash images, and then that will give us the location. and then get relevant image features. So delib facial detector will return all of the points, but we only care about a specific set of image features, and that's going to be these ones here. So when we'll just grab the relevant ones that we need and return those. To create the eyelash image, we will first grab the landmarks. We will need to grab where the center is at, where the X, and so where the center X and center Y of the eye is, and then what the width is. That way we can scale our eyelash to first fit the X and Y and also fit the specific width that we need. So we'll create the scale strictly based off of the width. We don't really need to check the height. The width should be enough for us to scale everything. And it works pretty good just doing it that way. And then we'll read in our two eyelash images. We will resize them based off of the scale. And then we need to create basically a new image that mimics the real image. That way we can get an image of similar dimensions as seen here. So we'll create one with all ones and then force them all to 255 so that the background is 255. And then we grab the center of the eyelash because this also needs to be scaled. So the center of the eyelash should scale by whatever scale we had before. And then we need to determine where we're going to place the eyelash. So now, based off the eyelash that's scaled, we can find out where exactly. So this eyelash, would there be a rectangle right here, and we need to know where to place only the top left. If we find that out, we're good to go. We can just place the whole image starting from the top left to wherever it needs to go, down to wherever it needs to go. And to find that, we're going to see where this eye, where the features are here, and then how large this picture is. So using those numbers, we will go from where the center of the actual eye is minus where the center of the eyelash is, and then we will go all the way to we'll keep on the left one. We'll go all the way to the width of the eyelash. And then same with the Y pixels. So the center of the eye minus the center of the eyelash. And then we'll go all the way towards the height of the eyelash image. So that's what this is doing. That way we can replace the eye in the correct pixel locations. And then creating a mask for the eyelashes. That's just using that helper function we went over to create the mask. And then we need to add the boundary points there. We also went over how to do that. And then we're just going to concatenate the eyelash features with the boundary points. And the eyelash features is just going to grab the new location of the eyelash features and then also append it with the boundary points. And then create feature array. So to do that, okay, yeah, so this is to just grab the relevant features that we need. So I explained this function before. We only want the relevant image features, not all of them. And then we also need to append the boundary points as well. So once we return all of these, we'll have the eyelash image, the mask, eyelash features, and then where the image features are. And we'll need all of these to do the Delaunay transform. So get eye center and width, that's just grabbing the facial landmarks and where the points are, and then basically averaging them to grab the center. And then for the center, for the width, we're just going to take the outside landmarks that we have. So the outside landmarks being these ones, 36, 39, 42, 45. And that will give us the center. This is used for the helper function for the Delaunay transform. Just just to say whether the rectangle contains this point. And there's just a quick way to check if it's in the rectangle. Apply the affine transform. So basically, given the triangles and the destination triangles, we can grab the affine transformation, and then we will know how to warp it, and we can just use the helper function warp affine to do that, and that will return it for us. This also came from OpenCV. And then warp triangle, another helper function from OpenCV course. This will actually tell us how we're going to need to warp the triangle. I'm not going to go into this part, this was in the course, so if you have any questions on that part, you can refer to the course. And then same with the calculate Delaunay triangles, also was explained in the course. These functions are just a little bit more complex and not really what this video is about, so I would just refer to the course if you have questions on those. To actually use the Delaunay transformation, we need the image shape size, we need the rectangle, so the dimensions of the image, and then we'll calculate the Delaunay triangles, which is done here. And then once we have the Delaunay triangles, we can create the eyelash alpha mask, which will just be the eyelash mask, all three channels together. And then we create dummy images for the warped. That way we can warp. This will be basically our final images here for the eyelash. And then we also have to warp the alpha so that the mask is also warped. So this will just apply the affine transform to the Delaunay triangles that we found already. So this will go through basically all of the points in the triangle, and then once we have those appended, we can then warp the triangle. In this case, the eyelash image to eyelash warped, and then the mask to the eyelash mask as well. And then once we're done, we'll return the warped eyelash and the warped eyelash alpha. And as you see, we're just using we don't have to do any warping to the actual image itself. Obviously, we're just going to warp the eyelashes to fit the image. And once we have those warped, we can then alpha blend them. So alpha blending is done here. And then that's it. So then this code actually will run everything we just went over. We'll read the image. We'll create the eyelash image. We have a simple blend if we didn't do the Delaunay transform, which is this image here, just alpha blending these two. And then we have the Delaunay transformed image, and then we alpha blend that as well. And then we're just plotting the images in Matplotlib.